Proofs involving parallel lines. We're going to be following gift. That's given, looking for given information, implied information, freebies, things that are always true, even if they're not in the given, and then we're going to talk it through. We're going to finish all 4 of these steps prior to even completing the proof. So we are given this information. We are given the fact that QR and US are parallel. First thing that you always want to do when you have QR and US, when you have parallel lines, is you want to extend them to their fullest length possible. So whenever you're told lines are parallel, you want to get your ruler out and extend them. It's just easier to work with those lines when you can see them in their fully extended form. Okay, so we are given the fact that these are parallel. Put in the arrow feathers. We're also given the fact that angles 1 and 5 are congruent. Angles 1 and 5 are congruent. And we're trying to prove that QP and RT are parallel. QP and RT are parallel. So we're trying to somehow make these parallel. Now, there's 4 ways to prove lines parallel. Okay, now even though they look parallel, we have to prove it. So I'm going to put a little parallel symbol with a question mark so that you know that that's what we're trying to prove. There are 4 ways to prove lines are parallel. Let me draw those 4 ways. Okay, if we have 2 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we have 2 lines and we have alternate interior angles are congruent, then parallel. So we're going to say this. We're going to say if, then. So if we have alternate interior angles which are congruent, then the lines are going to be parallel. Another scenario is if we have alternate exterior angles congruent, then it forces the lines to be parallel. Third way is if we have corresponding, one's out, one's in, same side, corresponding angles, and if we make them congruent, then we have parallel lines. And the last one is if 2 sides on the same side, those are called consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles, those aren't congruent, but if we can force them to be supplementary, which means add to 180, then we can make the lines parallel. So now we need to determine how can we make which one of these 4 attacks apply in this situation. Well, we're working with 1 here, so let's see what we can do. If there's, so picking up angle 1 here, if there is a way that we can connect angles 1 to 2 and make them congruent, ask yourself what kind of angles are 1 and 2 in this scenario. If you take a very close look, 1 and 2 are in the alternate interior angle position. So keep in mind that we're going to try to find some way to connect angles 1 and 2. Well, we can look here. So we're going to try, before we can say those are parallel, we're going to say angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Why? Because those are alternate interior. So the question is, how do you get 1 and 2 congruent? Well, taking a look here, we know that 2 and 5 are congruent because of the given information. The fact that these 2 angles are already parallel, 2 and 5 are alternate interior angles. So I'm going to write angle 2 congruent to angle 5. Notice the overlap at 2 right here. That is going to empower us to connect 1, 2, 5, or 2, 2, 1.